Hi everyone, welcome to yet another Brahma YouTube video. We're going to be doing, as promised, a series of videos that answer people's questions. And thank you everyone for sending your questions. Now I'm going to try to keep them brief. It's going to be difficult. Some of these questions that I've received are going to, they open up a door for a really in-depth topic. So I'm going to try to keep it as brief as possible for you, and we're gonna do like maybe 1 or 2 questions per video. Just depends on how deep of a question it is. So Steve, a fellow Canadian, asks me, how do you keep coming up with original and interesting content for your blog, especially when you have done this for such a long time? And he's right. For those of you who have been watching our YouTube videos, you're already aware a little bit about our blog and how we use it, and the fact that it's been around for about 18 years, going on 19 years here in 2022. So yeah, keeping the blog content consistent and organized is a challenge. Now I'm going to show you something here. This is a spreadsheet that I use. You see that? That's my spreadsheet. So you can see May, June, July, right? And how full the dates are. My blog is a daily blog for the most part. So fresh content going up every single day, and that keeps me quite busy doing that. I'm typically working 5 months in advance. So what that does, having a spreadsheet like this, is it helps me at a glance make sure that I'm not repeating content. What I mean by that is, let's say I've had an interview with a blogger scheduled, someone who runs a blog, and I'm interviewing about the process, behind the scenes activities of running their blog. And then 6 days later, I have another interview, and that interview is also with another blog manager. Now, what I'd probably end up wanting to do there is maybe space those out to avoid oversaturation with my audience and keep them coming back, because there's always something interesting and new there, not repeating content. So I might have another interview there, but maybe it'll be with an entrepreneur or with someone speaking about the green initiatives about their business, or maybe it's going to be with a podcast host, or maybe it'll be an author interview. So it's going to be changed up every 6 or 7 days, when it comes to those types of posts. I tend to keep posts separated. So like, kudos posts go out, every once a month or every 2 weeks, something like that. Our poetry time posts are usually once a month or every 20 days. We have author interviews going up every 2 weeks. The other interviews are spaced out in between those author interviews. And so it keeps it fresh and clean that way. I also publish my own previously published articles, those that I'm working on now for just, say promotional content that I'm publishing on article distribution sites as well. I'll publish those on my blog too. Submitted materials that I'm receiving. I'm constantly receiving submissions in the forms of articles, announcements, resources, poetries, queries for interviews, all kinds of different submissions and queries coming my direction every single day for one or both of our blogs. And so those all make for great content as well, if they fit the blog, if they're approved, and have gone through and suit the guidelines and all of that, and then they're going to get published. I'm personally, going to be working on this blog up to 5 months in advance, sometimes 6 months in advance. So there's quite a bit of lead time involved when it comes to submissions. If I find a resource, I'm going to make a note of it for the future. If I see some article that I want to try to share on our blog, I'll make sure I make a note of that and start making the communications with the author of that article before, long before I'm going to be wanting to publish it. So, I do product reviews on our blog occasionally. So there's a variety of different types of posts that go up on the blog. We have the Just for Writers blog post, which is like a monthly post. So a lot of different types of posts. And I think that helps too. It helps create, original, interesting, inspiring, motivational intriguing content without beating a topic to death kind of thing, so we might talk about gardening, but we don't talk about it every single day. We publish an article once a month or twice a month about gardening, that kind of thing. So as I say, we want to keep it fresh and exciting, and for me to do that in the type of blog that it is, when you're dealing with 31 posts every month or 28 posts in a month, depending on the month, and you're doing that 5 months in advance, it's just so much easier for me if I just have this quick little reference. And I don't keep track of it electronically, like I don't have a spreadsheet on file. A couple of reasons: I don't want to have to open up another window every time a submission comes up. Also, I want to be able to just look down at a glance and see what's coming up and make sure that I'm not oversaturating a topic. And it just makes it more convenient for me to work this way. So that's how I manage the content on the blog. I hope that answers your question, Steve, fellow Canadian Steve. Thank you for that question. All right, we'll be back in just a little bit and answering another question from one of our listeners.